Just beautiful there. The St. Louis community coming together to celebrate and honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community leaders gathered at City Hall today speaking on what still needs to be done in order to keep Dr. King's dream alive. That means fighting to end poverty, racism, and violence in the community.
I would encourage each and every one of us to study the teachings and the readings and all of the things that Dr. King studied and said when he was alive, so that we can continue generation to generation of passing on that information, embracing it in our hearts, and making it a part of our daily lives.
And that ceremony also recognized individuals and organizations across the metro area who are working to keep Dr. King's dream alive.